The 78th commencement exercises of Emmanuel College are now open. Please remain standing for the invocation.
Good and gracious God, we gather here today to celebrate the achievement of these graduates, women and men who have given much time, talent, and effort to become educated members of the human community. May they use their skills and knowledge that they have gained to benefit all of society and bring about a better world. We thank you for the events and activities of this academic year and for all the members of the academic community who have made today's celebration possible. Today is not an ending, it is a transition, a step that leads to new and different pathways. There is pride and relief in what has been accomplished, and there is anticipation and joy in what yet will come. We pray that our graduates may always use the knowledge gained at Emmanuel for the betterment of their own lives and the lives of others. We thank you for the presence of so many family and friends and for the love and support that they have given us so that we might achieve our goal of graduation. We ask your blessing on this gathering, on our speakers, and those being honored today. May your spirit continue to bless and guide us as we move forward in the new millennium. Amen.
Please be seated. Sister Janet Eisner, members of the corporation and the Board of Trustees, distinguished guests, members of the administration, faculty, and staff, alumni, relatives, and friends of the graduates, and most especially, members of the class of 2000. I welcome you to these commencement exercises. In welcoming all of you, I want to acknowledge in a special way the hard work, sacrifice, encouragement, and support of mothers, fathers, husbands, wives, children, and other family members and friends who have helped to bring each graduate to the fulfillment and achievement of today. With the degrees awarded today, the total number of degrees awarded by Emmanuel College since 1923 is 15,481. I would now like to introduce the first student speaker. Megan Haupt, class of 2000, will speak on behalf of the traditional age graduates. Megan.
Sister Janet Eisner, members of the corporation and the Board of Trustees, distinguished guests, members of the administration, faculty, and staff, alumni, relatives, and friends of the graduates, and most especially, the members of the class of 2000. Today is the first day of the rest of our lives. I know this phrase is a tad cliche. However, I feel that it is a perfect phrase for us as we graduate today. This also, I swear to you, is my mother's favorite phrase because she reminded me of it practically every day, whether I needed to hear it or not. So, I thought I might share this old adage as a useful reminder for all of us. Today marks the beginning of a new adventure in our lives. It also marks the end of our time here as students at Emmanuel College. We have all worked long and hard, both traditional and adult learner students, to receive our bachelor or master's degrees. Congratulations to each of us. Emmanuel has educated us amidst a dynamic learning environment shaped by a liberal arts curriculum. The courses we took were from the perspective of a woman's experience, rooted in strong human values and a Catholic heritage. This is the foundation of Emmanuel College. This mission statement has guided us through our college career, and I firmly believe that our liberal arts education will come in handy. Remember Patterns of Discovery, that course that got us up at the crack of dawn our freshman year, dragged us to the library lecture hall 3 times a week with bagel and cream cheese in hand, as philosophy, art, and literature were crammed into our heads. Well, patterns will endure as we realize we can hold our own in a philosophical debate on Nietzsche, or understand the choice of colors that Monet used in his never-ending water lilies. We also remember the long and tedious hours spent in the language lab learning French or Spanish and wondering if we'd ever be fluent. Well, that too will finally pay off on that all-important business trip to Europe. Through our sociology courses, we learned how globally connected the world has become. When we mourned the loss of Princess Diana and Mother Teresa, we were inspired by Sister Helen Prejean's powerful story when she urged us not to be neutral, but to have an opinion and make it count. Our class saw the hurts in society and became socially active. As a class, we committed ourselves to 2,000 hours of community service, a goal which I am proud to announce we have accomplished. Our class spent countless hours in food pantries, soup kitchens, organizing blood or clothing drives, being tutors, cleaning up a local park. Our lives have become richer and more fulfilled because of these experiences. But aside from our excellent education and service, the greatest treasure that we have received from Emmanuel College are the lifelong friendships that we have formed. Thanks to the inventor of the internet. For without it, Sprint, MCI, AT&T would be making a fortune from our class. As students, we celebrated with Sister Janet her 20 years at Emmanuel. We survived the Boston floods that nearly drowned us our freshman year. We saw our chapel beautifully restored and the auditorium refurbished. When we first arrived at Emmanuel, Colleges of the Fenway had just begun. We are the first class to enjoy the benefits of the 6th college program for all 4 years. Soon the Emmanuel campus will have a brand new residence hall and new buildings, and perhaps by the time we return, we might not even recognize the place. But rest assured, Emmanuel's foundation will still be there. Some of us will continue as students in graduate programs. The rest of us will jump right into the professional world and may later pursue graduate study. But no matter what path our lives will take us, Emmanuel will always be with us. After having spent 4 years here, I can say that as a class, we have grown and become more connected to the world in which we live. Emmanuel College has given us the gift of education that will lead us far in our lives. So as we leave here today, it is important to remember that it is our turn to make our mark in the world. I urge you to make a difference. Use your intellect, talents, and passion for life to lead the way into the future, because today is the first day of the rest of your life.
Thank you, Megan. I now would like to introduce Jean Beretta of the class of 2000, who will speak on behalf of the adult learner graduates. Jean?
Sister Janet Eisner, members of the corporation and the Board of Trustees, distinguished guests, members of the administration, faculty and staff, alumni, relatives and friends of the graduates, and most especially the members of the class of 2000. It is indeed a day for celebration. It is also a day for looking back and looking forward. Looking back at the choices we made that brought us here, and looking forward to the future, wide open with incredible opportunities and enormous challenges, where the choices we make will impact the lives of all of us. We come here from many different backgrounds. Some came to Emmanuel directly from high school, young women who have the shared experience of coming of age in the 90s, but bringing a rich heritage of different ethnic, economic, and personal life experiences, and also bringing a unique and fresh perspective of viewing the world, a world that has changed significantly for those of us of different generations. For there are others who have come to Emmanuel as adult learners, having come of age in the 80s, 70s, and some of us in the 60s. Some are fathers, mothers, professionals, and all of us, my traditional and adult classmates, each with our own very unique and personal story. But woven through our wonderful uniqueness and diversity is now a common thread, the strong, enduring thread of the experience of Emmanuel. For over 80 years, the Sisters of Notre Dame, in addition to providing a solid academic foundation, have instilled the need for solid values and critical thinking, the fundamentals we need to stand up to the difficult challenges we face personally and in the world around us. We are facing tremendous challenges, unimaginable 50 years ago. The ethical and moral questions that come with rapidly changing technology, science, and genetics need to be addressed with more than the textbook information we have learned. We need to approach these issues thoughtfully, using our minds while not straying from the fundamentals we know to be true. And we know it won't be easy. We are bombarded with information, assaulted with images from the media that can entrap us, can cause us to make emotional decisions, snap judgments based on visceral responses to what we see. But we all have the ability to fight this. We have the skills to make decisions, not based on emotions or the fads of the day or clever sound bites, but based on facts, mindfully assimilated and flowing from our solid core values. When we look at what has survived through the tumultuous changes of this past century, our Constitution, our college, our families, we see that common thread. Tough choices were made, discerning and thoughtful choices, tough choices made by ordinary people who individually and collectively made a difference. And as we move forward into the 21st century, the challenges we face may be unparalleled, but the opportunities are unparalleled as well. Regardless of our age or experience, every day brings each one of us the opportunity to make a difference in the choices we make. We move forward into a very exciting time. We have much to be proud of, much to be excited about, and much to be thankful for. I extend a heartfelt thank you to our faculty, friends, and dear families who have supported and encouraged us through these past years. And to my fellow classmates, congratulations.
Thank you, Jean. I am pleased to introduce Sister Janet Eisner, SND, 12th President of Emmanuel College. Sister Janet will address the graduates.
members of the corporation and board of trustees, and all our distinguished guests, faculty, administrators, and most especially parents, spouses, and families of our graduates, it is a joy to welcome you to the 78th commencement exercises of Emmanuel College. I welcome all our guests from Boston and all over New England, California, Illinois, Mississippi, New York, Virginia, Bangladesh, India, Indonesia, Kenya, Korea, Malaysia, Saudi Arabia, Venezuela, and several others. Congratulations first to the 93 students receiving master's degrees in management and education. For several of you, this is your second degree and the second time you will walk across this stage. I think especially of some very recent graduates who have returned to get degrees, master's degrees in education. Emmanuel College has a long history of commitment to the education of teachers, and at this time in our country, how important it is to prepare teachers well for our youth. I applaud your commitment and the commitment of all our education and management master's graduates. Congratulations to the graduates of our Center for Adult Learning. Your diplomas represent a remarkable determination and enthusiasm to complete your bachelor's degree. And for many of you, the Emmanuel courses enriched you and your workplace, such as Lotus, Fleet Bank, Fidelity Investments, Bell Atlantic, Genzyme, Gillette, John Hancock, and the list is very long. Many of you have families, careers, community work, and other important activities that have vied for your time, but you have chosen to make education a priority in your lives, and today the rewards are being realized. Congratulations to the class of 2000 who graduate from our undergraduate traditional programs. Emmanuel is so proud of you and who you have become since you came to this campus in September 1996. Now you know what I boast about you every time I can, because, as Negan noted, as the class of 2000, you entered Emmanuel College small in number, but large in vision and heart. As freshmen, you pledged to give 2,000 hours of service to this community, and last week, I think you tallied 3,195 volunteer hours to the community of Greater Boston. You experienced firsthand the value of giving of yourself in service to others. In the tradition of this Catholic liberal arts college, you have been challenged, all of you, to develop a strong social conscience, to act with intellectual integrity, and to give generously of yourselves to others. In your baccalaureate liturgy last evening, you heard the reading from Micah. This is what God wants of you, to act justly, love kindness, and walk humbly with your God. You heard the scriptures call you to remember that the greatest of gifts of love is love. May those scriptures guide you, whatever your religious affiliation, as you continue to develop your spiritual life and your relationship with the good God. Here at Emmanuel, you have lived in the real world as students. You made Boston your extended classroom with your service and through your very exciting internships in the medical, business, and civic community. By studying with students from around the world, you have enhanced your global perspective. So graduates of 2000, you are very well prepared for the global technological knowledge age of the 21st century. Your Emmanuel education has prepared you not for one career or for one job, but for a lifetime. All our graduates give very high praise and hold with deep respect the Emmanuel faculty. And so I am most pleased to announce that the 2000 Faculty Excellence Award in Teaching is presented to Dr. Michael St. Clair, Professor of Psychology. We recognize Dr. St. Clair for his commitment to his students and to the principles of a liberal arts education. Michael, you bring a real-world perspective to the classroom, and I think of that when I remember the story that you went on a tour of the Big Dig in order to better prepare yourself to teach cityscapes to our freshman class. You challenge all our students to think critically and to anticipate the influence that their choices will have on their own lives and on the lives of others in their community. So it is a great pleasure to present you with the 2000 Faculty Excellence Award in Teaching. At this time, I would like to recognize two members of our Board of Trustees who are leaving the board this summer. Mary Parent, alumna, you have served faithfully on the Educational Affairs Committee for 8 years, contributing your insight and perspective to the deliberations of the board. I want to thank you so much, Mary, for your gracious assistance. John Larkin Thompson, you epitomize the meaning of trusteeship as you challenged us with your incisive questions and shared generously your broad experience in the greater Boston community. We shall value your counsel always. At commencement, we place before you our graduates, your commencement speaker, and honorary degree recipients to encourage you to achieve your goals and fulfill your dreams. We recognize in your speaker, Terry Schindler, a scholar and athlete, now Vice President of Broadcasting for the Women's National Basketball Association, a woman whose career reflects great determination. We recognize our honorary degree recipients, Ronald Burton, John Hancock executive and founder of the Ron Burton Training Village for underprivileged youth, for the outstanding service he has given to the community. Tom Finneran, Speaker of the House of Representatives, for his strong advocacy for social justice, and Margaret McKenna for her superb leadership in the field of education at every level during her 15 years as president of Leslie College. Your speaker and your honorary degree recipients reflect well the values of this Emmanuel mission. May their lives inspire you students to pursue your goals with confidence and determination. Class of 2000, Emmanuel College sends you forth to continue to be the critical thinkers, ethical decision makers, and contributing members of society for the 21st century. May you be people of conviction, of conscience, and of compassion. May Emmanuel, our God with us, bless you throughout your lives. Congratulations on this, your commencement day.
Thank you, Sister Jana. C. Michael Daly, Chair of the Board of Trustees, will confer the honorary degree of Doctor of Humane Letters on Ronald E. Burton. The citation will be read by Dr. Michael St. Clair, Professor of Psychology at Emmanuel College. Ronald Burton, will you please come forward?
Ronald E. Burton, professional athlete and devoted family man, inspiring citizen and idealistic humanitarian, You have distinguished yourself in the community you have so conscientiously served for 40 years. You came from humble origins in Ohio. You felt hunger and the pinch of poverty. You responded, however, to helping hands, hands which assisted you to find your path, hands which inspired in you a resolve to give to others what you had received. With a full scholarship and a wardrobe donated by the community, you enrolled at Northwestern University, where you became an outstanding All-American football player. After graduating, you were the first player ever drafted by the then-called Boston Patriots. Once you came to Boston, you never left. You excelled as a running back for the Patriots from 1960 to 1965, playing many of your professional football games in that notable sports temple just down the street, Fenway Park. When your time on the playing field was over, you went to work for John Hancock Mutual Life Insurance Company, advancing up the corporate ladder to the position you hold today as executive consultant for community relations. The Boston Globe's Dan Shaughnessy has called you one of the good guys of sport, one who gives back to society and to the community, and you always have. In 1985, ever mindful of your own childhood and the helping hands of others, you started a summer program for underprivileged Boston youth. You used your own resources to start the Ron Burton Training Village, a camp where each summer 100 boys and girls participate in a program that promotes athletics and citizenship. By devoting your time, energy, your own money, and constantly fundraising, you have provided over the past 15 years a uniquely rewarding experience for over 1,500 of these children that will aid them find their path, that will help them to do well, so that they in turn can give something back to society. You and your wife have raised a wonderful family, and your 5 children are making their own contributions to society. Recently, your personal challenges would have weakened a lesser individual, but in you instilled a renewed strength and resolve. Both the rich and the poor in this greater Boston community admire you and call you friend. You are one of those rare persons so important for a community, a flesh and blood hero, someone who makes the world better, someone who inspires all of us to do the same. In recognition thereof, and with sincere admiration, Emmanuel College is privileged to confer upon you, Ronald E. Burton, the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa.
Ron, by virtue of the powers delegated to Emmanuel College by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and on behalf of the Board of Trustees of Emmanuel College, I confer upon Ronald E. Burton the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, with all the rights and privileges that pertain thereto. Congratulations.
Thank you, Ian. I just want a moment to say thank you. I am so honored for the degree, for this degree, and I don't really know how to really express it, but it means so much. Every now and then, as you go through life, you have special moments, and I've had many, and this is one of them. This is big, and I listened to Sister Eisner and Megan talk about what's expected of you. You have to. It's almost like the same words that were echoed by the Pope when I was very privileged to go to Cuba with the Cardinal. It was awesome. It was heavenly, and that's how you have to live. Really keep that in mind. People listen to what you say and they watch what you do, and you have so much ahead of you. And if you can, try not to ever drink. Try not to ever smoke, if you can, because it makes a difference. People get sick because of it, and life's not a joke. And you get one walk through the garden. Ever since I've arrived in Boston, Boston has been so good to my family and I, and we've been so blessed for it. Ever since I've been here, I've been drinking. I've been fed from a harvest that I didn't sow. I've been drinking from wells that I didn't dig. I've been warmed by fires that I didn't build. God has been good, and God will be good to you. He's good to you. But keep the blessing, keep the focus. And to the class of 2000, you have so much ahead of you. But love one another. And again, Sister Ida, and to the corporation, and to all of you who will consider me for this award. It overwhelms me and my family. Congratulations. God bless you. And I pray that the wind will always, always be at your backs. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Burton. C. Michael Daly, Chair of the Board of Trustees, will confer the honorary degree of Doctor of Humane Letters on Margaret A. McKenna. The citation will be read by Louise Cash, Professor of Music and Speech Communication Theater Arts at Emmanuel College. President McKenna, will you please come forward?
Margaret A. McKenna, college president, educator par excellence, skilled attorney, valued counselor to presidents of the United States, devoted mother to 2 sons, and, we are not surprised, alumna of Emmanuel College. Yours is a wonderful example of a life lived to the fullest, by matching your talents and expertise to the needs of those around you. Your sphere of influence is global. From your years in the Carter White House as Deputy Counsel and Deputy Undersecretary of Education, to your leadership with the Clinton-Gore Presidential Transition Committee's Higher Education Task Force, you have been keenly aware of the critical importance of quality education, and equally aware that it is rife with monumental difficulties. You have also worked with Boston Mayor Thomas Menino as chair of the Education Task Force on his Transition Committee. During your illustrious career, you have audited higher education programs, analyzed policies, legislation, and financial aid regulations, promoted international education, and fought for civil rights. You sit on numerous boards of directors, including the Council of Independent Colleges and the American Council on Education. Former Emmanuel trustee and advisor, and always good friend, you have shared generously your wisdom, your wit, with your alma mater. In 1984, you collaborated with Emmanuel College to host the first presidential primary in history to focus on women's issues. An obvious believer in the importance of women's education, you served as director of the Bunting Institute and vice president of Radcliffe College from 1981 to 1985. In 1985, you were appointed the first woman president of Lesley College, and as a result of your strong and progressive leadership, Lesley has flourished. Not one to rest on your laurels, you recently returned from Cuba, where you explored how Cubans teach literacy and whether they hold teachers in high esteem. President McKenna, high esteem is something in which all of us at Emmanuel College certainly hold you. For your countless achievements, for your tireless efforts to improve education locally and globally, and for what you mean to this institution, it is our joy and our privilege on the occasion of your 15th anniversary as president of Leslie College, to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters honoris causa.
Margaret, by virtue of the powers delegated to Emmanuel College by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and on behalf of the Board of Trustees of Emmanuel College, I confer upon Margaret A. McKenna the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, with all of the rights and privileges that pertain thereto. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Cash, and I want to say thank you to Sister Janet Eisner for recognizing me, but also for keeping me from being the oldest president in Massachusetts. I appreciate her 22 years, and that's the way people talk about it. It's not senior, but old. So I appreciate that as well. There is something very special about being honored by your own, and this is very special for me. I was here in the 60s. And that was the beginning of everything, the anti-war movement, feminism, civil rights, and it was a wonderful time to be here. And what I remember on my way out, as you are, is I stood in this lawn and gave a speech, and the speech was very controversial. I was the president of the senior class. And I would say today that there were a number of people in that audience who would never believe that I would be here today. That speech today would be very mild, I assure you. But this was the beginning of a trail of leadership for me. I learned how important college was to people, what it meant to have an environment that shaped people's lives. And that's when I started thinking about leadership of colleges. I was tested here and challenged, intellectually and personally. And I did some testing and challenging myself, I assure you. I learned a lot. And I learned a lot from courses. I learned a lot from my peers. I learned a lot from dormitory life. I learned a lot from my friends. And I learned a lot from others here. From Sister Marie Augusta Neal, I learned the history, the sociology behind the causes of poverty and discrimination, and learned that you can be a much better and passionate advocate if you understand the data as well as understanding the passion. I learned from Sister Ann Rachel Sherry how to deal with young people, including my own children and the young adults at Leslie College, that if you engage with others and you have a sense of humor and a great deal of patience, but most of all, if you really care about who they are, that's much more effective than strict rules. I learned from a lot of strong women here that you can be tough and warm, a feminist and feminine, and determined and caring. I learned a lot here. I learned about social justice values that pervade this place today, as you all heard today, by our student speakers. And those social justice values have guided my life. Thank you.
Thank you, Margaret. C. Michael Daly, Chair of the Board of Trustees, will confer the honorary degree of Doctor of Laws on Thomas Finneran. The citation will be read by Sister Mary Johnson, SND, Associate Professor of Sociology and Religious Studies at Emmanuel College. Speaker Finneran.
Thomas Michael Finneran, Speaker of the Massachusetts House of Representatives since 1996, and the Democratic representative of the 12th Suffolk District for the past 21 years. You are a dedicated public servant who steadfastly keeps the best interests of your constituents at heart. A graduate of Boston Latin School, Northeastern University, and Boston College Law School. You were born in East Boston, the fourth child of William Finneran and Mary Fitzgerald Finneran. Your mother, Mary, a member of the Emmanuel College graduating class of 1942, nurtured you from birth, and by your own testimony has influenced you profoundly throughout your life. Shortly after your birth, your family moved to the Mary Ellen McCormick Housing Project in South Boston, and at the age of 8, you moved to Dorchester's Lower Mills. Never veering far from your roots, you now live in Mattapan with your wife and 2 daughters whom you love so dearly. Your journey from the McCormick Housing Project in Southie to room 356 of the State House on Beacon Hill is a credit to your intellect and tenacity and to your family's love and support. You grew up in an Irish-American home and ate of the 5 staples of that particular ethnic diet: meat, potato, vegetable, politics, and religion. As a young man, you grew in your understanding of Massachusetts politics as an art, a science, and a sport, and you have reveled in it ever since. You also grew in your understanding of the faith, a Catholicism that knows urban life, working class life, and ethnic life, a Catholicism that knows the soul of housing projects and triple-deckers, and the dreams of old and new immigrants up and down Dorchester Avenue, or as you say, Dot-Ave. As a son of St. Gregory's Parish, you embody Catholic social teaching's emphasis on the dignity of each person. As your mother's son, you are a persistent voice for the poor and the most vulnerable of our society. Mr. Speaker, you learned to speak at your mother's knee. Now when you speak, the Commonwealth listens. As Speaker of the House, you have had much to say. As one colleague notes, underneath that tough talk, there is a scholarly lawyer. You are a strong advocate for government accountability, and you insist on budgets that are honestly and prudently balanced. Your Speaker's Lyceum Lecture Series brings leaders from diverse fields to the House floor, having them address the representatives in formal session. You advocate boldly for social justice and human rights, and your public record and personal convictions are exemplary. In recognition of your many contributions to improving the quality of life for all citizens of the Commonwealth, and in anticipation of your continued future success, Emmanuel College is privileged to confer upon you, Speaker Thomas M. Finneran, the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
Mr. Speaker, by virtue of the powers delegated to Emmanuel College by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and on behalf of the Board of Trustees of Emmanuel College, I confer upon Thomas M. Finneran the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, with all of the rights and privileges that pertain thereto. Congratulations.
Good morning and congratulations, first of all, to the students and to their very, very proud and happy families. I am honored and flattered, as Ron Burton made reference to in his remarks and as President McKenna made reference to in her remarks. I was encouraged to be brief. When you grow up in an Irish Catholic family, not only did you dine on those 5 staples that were already articulated in the introduction. Actually, there were 6 because you got second helpings of potatoes. It was a constant battle for recognition, and one learned to use words or vocabulary skillfully, or if in fact you were shy, as was I, you learned to perhaps reach for the third helping of potatoes while others engaged in conversation. I have 2 tasks that I would like to discharge this morning in my very brief remarks. I would like to introduce my family to this family. Reference has already been made to my bride, my wife Donna, my daughter Shannon, who is here. My other daughter Kelly is home a little low, a little sick. My brother Bobby is here. My niece Alexis is here. And last but not least, reference was made, I think quite appropriately in the introduction, to a graduate of the college, of Emmanuel College, from the class of 1942, my mother Mary, who majored in physics and chemistry and then bore 7 children with great pride and with some distinction. My mother Mary. My mother will turn 80 in a few weeks, and after having raised, some might say struggled, with the 7 of us, she's taken up another little hobby in life. She has become a fan of horse racing. Did not have much success last week in the Kentucky Derby, but she's planning on making a comeback with the Preakness and the Belmont. I thought it was quite appropriate for President Eisner to extend a very, very warm welcome to all of you, and appropriate for her to reference the states from which you come, the countries and the continents that have brought you to this spot on this day. Massachusetts, I think, is well regarded and well known for always offering to the world a warm and welcome, a friendly face. And clearly, we hope that you, the proud parents and members of the families of these graduates today, feel that very, very special, warm Massachusetts welcome. I've now discharged one of my tasks, and that was to introduce my family to this large Emmanuel family. My second task is this, and I'd reference it, I'll put it in context as follows. This might be the last bit of advice you ever receive from an attorney for which you will not be charged a handsome, handsome fee. 4 thoughts that I would leave with the graduates. 1, please try your best to be curious throughout your life. Ask the questions: who, what, when, where, how, and why. Maintain that intellectual curiosity that has brought you to this place on this day. It is the essence of life. It is the spice of life. It will give you an energy that will carry you on through the years. 2, be appreciative, particularly appreciative of what your families have already done for you and what they will continue to do for you. Some of you are parents. Most of you are not. When you become parents, you will begin to experience what I think all parents know, but sometimes we all struggle to articulate: an extraordinary sense of unconditional and immeasurable love and affection, all of which has propelled you and brought you forward to this day. Show that affection to your parents. Their eyes are twinkling with pride today on your achievement. But your achievement has been based, quite frankly, on an awful lot of effort and expenditure that they have made. 3rd, when you make those tough and difficult choices, which were referenced so articulately and passionately by your student leaders who spoke earlier, I would encourage you to show respect and to show reverence for life. It is precious. It is fleeting. It is fragile. You will learn that as you age. And God knows we wish you all the best in success and immeasurable opportunity. But respect and reverence for life is a key to virtually every decision you will make. Last but not least, I would encourage you to search for heroes. They are in your midst, and they have led this nation and this world forward over the course of time. Make sure you make the distinction between heroes and celebrities. Celebrities are a dime a dozen. And even at that price, you've overpaid. But heroes are rare. Search for them. Be inspired by them. Emulate them. And then you will not only be inspired, but to us, you will be inspiring as well. In closing, I ask that God extend every blessing of health and happiness to all of you, and I wish you Godspeed. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker Finneran. Dr. Patricia Rismeyer, Dean of Students, will introduce our commencement speaker.
It is my distinct pleasure to introduce Terry Schindler, the Emmanuel College Class of 2000 commencement speaker. Ms. Schindler's education and career in many ways reflect the traditions we hold so highly here at Emmanuel College. A Phi Beta Kappa graduate of the University of Notre Dame, Terry was a scholar and an athlete, making All-American honors on the swim team. Emmanuel graduates are taught that they can achieve anything they set out to do, and Ms. Schindler is an excellent example of someone who has achieved professional prominence. Writer, producer, executive, Ms. Schindler's long list of professional accomplishments include work as a freelance producer at CBS, ESPN, and HBO Sports, management of the Big East Football Television Network, and production of NCAA tournament coverage, Milwaukee Bucks telecast packages, and a documentary on the 1996 Women's Olympic basketball team for Lifetime Television. Terry has been nominated for 8 Emmys in the New England region, and in 1993 won an Emmy for football coverage. She joined National Basketball Association Entertainment in 1997 and was promoted to her current position of Vice President and Senior Coordinating Producer of Women's National Basketball Association Broadcasting in September 1999. The WNBA is a modern-day success story of the determination of women to excel in a league of their own. And Terry's central role as Vice President in the WNBA reflects her own determination and her exceptional talent. Aunt and sister-in-law to Emmanuel alumnae Sarah Versekes, class of 1999, and Nancy Gorman, class of 1965, Terry Schindler knows firsthand the power of an Emmanuel education. Graduating class of 2000, I present to you your commencement speaker, Terry Schindler.
Thank you, Pat. Sister Janet Eisner, trustees, honorary degree recipients, faculty, graduates, guests, and members of the Emmanuel community, particularly Nancy Gorman Versekes and Sarah Versekes, who have told me so many wonderful things about their experience here. I am honored to be with you this morning to celebrate the 2000 commencement. I have to confess, I'm not a big fan of the spotlight. I do my work behind the camera, I write words for other people to deliver, and I'm used to telling the story from the relative safety of the edit room or the television truck or my keyboard. And now here I am risking the podium, and it doesn't seem so long ago I was where you are. As I look out at you, I feel not pride exactly, I'll leave that emotion to your families who got you to this point, but great excitement for you, because this is such an interesting time to be alive and embarking on your professional careers. There's an enormous amount of change happening, and that means there's also an enormous amount of opportunity. When we sit in production meetings before major sporting events, or when we sit in planning sessions at the NBA, the WNBA, or for the Olympics, we talk a lot about 3 adjectives: grace, strength, and passion. the qualities most world-class athletes possess. These are the qualities we try to capture in our stories and our telecasts because they're attention getters. They're fascinating, they're inspiring, and they're rare. But grace, strength, and passion are not exclusively athletic adjectives. Certainly inner strength is much more compelling than athletic strength. And grace under pressure is always riveting, whether it comes at the free throw line with no time on the clock, or as you watch someone you know under extreme stress keep himself together in a way that you find completely admirable. But the adjective I connect most with is passion. In an era of great technological advance, in an era where things are judged by the speed of connection and not by the length of commitment, in an era of Palm Pilots and search engines and wireless web access, in an era that features so much information with so little context, I'd like to promote a very low-tech virtue, passion. Passion is an underrated quality these days, and if it were a stock, I'd tell you to buy, because long-term, it pays off. It acts as a magnet. Passion draws others to your ideas and your visions, and people connect with it in an emotional way that has unique power. We see it again and again in sports. Take, for example, the U.S. women's soccer team, certainly terrifically gifted and well-coached, but I couldn't tell you the difference between a penalty kick and an offside. What I can tell you is that along with millions of others, I reacted to the passion these women displayed on the field when they won the World Cup last summer. They connected with us through their energy, their vision, their grit, and their absolute belief in themselves. And that belief started early. Tiffany Roberts, who was on that team, told me that in grade school, her teacher asked her class to draw themselves in the future. The other kids drew pictures of doctors and firemen and astronauts. Tiffany drew herself on a medal podium. She could see it. Then when I was working on a documentary about the Connecticut women's basketball team that went 35-0 in 1995, I did a number of interviews over the course of one day. I had been meticulous in my research, and I was asking everyone about their point totals and about their ups and downs over the course of the season. But I had totally missed the point. Finally, it was Rebecca Lobo who set me straight. I asked her a question about a game, and she gave me a monosyllabic response. I was surprised. And so I said, Rebecca, I'm clearly not asking you the right questions. What do you want to tell me about this season? And without hesitating, she said, I want to tell you about the look in Jen Rosati's eyes when she came running into the huddle and told us we were not going to lose that game against Tennessee. In essence, she wanted to tell me about their passion. Every great athlete has it, and every great leader has it as well. When we started the WNBA 4 years ago, we had no uniforms, no players, no schedule, but we had no shortage of passion. We had women who drove miles and miles to get to every open tryout in an effort to make a team. We had women like former Olympian Susie McConnell-Serio, who looked at her husband and her 4 children and said, I'd like to try to make a comeback. And just this past April, Rhonda Jo Miller, who is deaf, was invited and participated in our pre-draft camp in Chicago. Now, this isn't a fairy tale, and not all these women realized their dream to play professional basketball, but their passion lingers. And like the soccer women, they are contagious and inspiring, and they help promote women everywhere, people everywhere, who want to take a chance. This past week, I spent an entire day in a dark room in Salt Lake City planning for the Olympics in Sydney. We watched tape after tape of athletes from around the world. We saw footage of grown men crying after winning medals in weightlifting and wrestling. We heard an interview with a woman who is legally blind, who made the finals in a track and field event. And we watched the painful story of a teenage gymnast who was trying to recapture her confidence on the uneven bars, falling time after time in the World Championships. We weren't watching athletic endeavors. We were watching pure passion. We were seeing the core, the absolute soul of these individuals who were not afraid to try. And we could not look away. These kinds of people and their stories are so interesting to us, in part because they face down fear. Real passion has an element of the irrational in it. It made absolutely no sense for some of these women in the first year of the WNBA to crisscross the country to try out for as many as 8 different teams, and they did it anyway. It made absolutely no sense for this little girl to keep trying not to slip from the uneven bars in front of thousands of people, and she did it anyway. And it made no sense for a blind woman to try to run on a crowded track, and she did it anyway. Think of every great artist, every great writer, every great leader, every great parent. Of all of them, you could probably say they did it anyway. And that's a message I hope you can take from me today. Do it anyway. In your lives, take some time to quiet all this technological noise, all this hype, and listen to yourself. Where is your passion? It may take a while to hear the answer, but when you do, pay attention to it, nurture it, and follow it. There will be a million reasons why you can't. Do it anyway. Do it in spite of the people who are dispassionate, cynical, and ready to hedge their bets. Do it in the face of people who sway with trends and buzz and what's hot and what's not. Do it in the face of people who laugh, who tell you you're wrong, who tell you you're no good, who make you doubt every fiber of your being. We're talking about using human connections as well as modem connections. We're talking about selling an idea with all the force of your convictions, starting a program with every ounce of energy you've got, putting every muscle behind what you do, who you are, and what you're becoming, putting a human face, yours, on every concept you float. And that doesn't mean things will always work out, and it doesn't mean it won't be hard. It does mean you will put in more hours than you expected, that you will care more and hurt more and laugh more than some others. It means you aren't going to mail it in, that you're going to show up for every game and play until the last second, even when no one's watching, because you care so much about the outcome. If you can harness your passion, if you can quiet the noise from the outside world and listen to your heart, you will be powerful in whatever you choose to do, and you will do it anyway. The people who know me sometimes make fun of me. They make fun of the fact that I think that if I can see something clearly enough and if I believe in it enough, I can make it happen. When I was little, I used to sit in my room and stare at this one book on my shelves. I was absolutely convinced that if I just stared long enough and hard enough with enough focus and enough desire, I could make that book fly off that shelf and into my hands. It never happened. But as I look around now, I see other people who thought the same thing. These people are leaders because they are not afraid to feel passionate, and their passion makes them powerful. Whether it be the executive director for the National Coalition for the Homeless in New York, who routinely takes on the entire city in her fight for the homeless, or the housewife who had the idea for the Million Mom March for gun control that will happen in Washington tomorrow. In their own way, these women are making books fly off the shelves. And there's another great byproduct of passion. As much as it attracts others to you, it also has power over you, a power you'll need. There will be no major decision you make in the next 50 years that will not scare the heck out of you. No big ideas, no important personal decision that you won't wonder in the dark of the night whether or not it's the right thing to do. You will feel alone. You will sometimes feel stupid. You will sometimes look stupid. But your passion will give you the courage to show up for life when it's really scary or really unfair. And when you don't know if you want to be so exposed, when you don't know if you have the strength to get dirty, to get in there and mix it up. And people will follow you even though they're scared as well. Nurture your passion. Listen to your own heartbeat. There's a lot of noise out there in the world. We have far more information than we need, and it's easy to not really think, to let the cacophony and the groupthink take over. But if you can shut out the noise and listen to what you believe in, to your own personal vision, then you can create change. You can be powerful. You can get there from here. Finally, and most importantly, apply your passion to the people in your life. Be passionate about your family. Be fierce about your children. Every once in a while as you travel, you will meet someone you recognize immediately. You will understand them in an instant, and you will know how much you have in common. This is a gift. Collect those people. Hold on to them with all your might. Do not take them for granted. Surround yourself with a team, with coaches and mentors, a network of passionate souls who help you keep your fire alive. Appreciate them, take care with them, and do the same for them. If you do that, I know you'll make a couple books fly off the shelves. Good luck and congratulations.
Thank you, Terry. Sister Janet Eisner, President, upon recommendation of the faculty, it is my privilege to present to you the candidates who have fulfilled all the requirements for the degrees of Master of Arts in Human Resources Management, Master of Arts in Teaching, Master of Science in Health Service Administration, Master of Science in Management, Master of Education in Education Technology, Master of Education in School Administration. And I ask all of us, out of respect for the graduates, and in order that each one's name can be heard, I ask that you hold applause until all the degrees have been conferred. Then we will applaud the master's recipients all at once. So now, will the candidates for Masters of Arts, Masters of Education, and Masters of Science please rise and come forward?
Cynthia Louise Duggan. Sister Joanne Helen Grages. Wendy Marie Morissette. Nicole Earhart. Kathleen Marie Alcoin. Mary Ellen Byrne. Kathleen McCarthy Cody. Patricia Mary Fleming. Rose Marie Fury. Esther Cynthia Lewis. Pamela Jean Mason. Pamela Nichols Mitchell. Kara Elizabeth Murtaugh. Donna Marie Sullivan. Neil Edward Sullivan. Kristen Ellen Toza. Russell W. Wilson. Michelle Elaine Woods Robinson.
Mary Ellen Carrillo. Anne Marie Lettieri. Eric Nauman. Courtney A. Wilburn. Marion Bailey. Eileen Marie Coyne. Amy Susan Cohen Diaz. Joanne M. Egan. Brenda Handy. Natalie Adrian Ivitsky. Cheryl Gillis Lane. Susan A. McDonough. Stephen F. Tassoni. James Allen Linthwaite. Ann N. Mena. Janet Patricia Fine. William A. Allen. Charles Ariente, Jr. Christine Joan Bacigalupo. Maddie H. Vincevenko. Faye Sharmataro. Janine M. Cobb. Kathleen Nimlet Cormier. Kevin G. Flannery. Pamela M. Gilhui. Christy Daly Heffron. Jennifer M. Hillman. Renee Mobley Holmes. Theophilus Arfi Kumi. Kim Marie Lamagna. Lori Ann Langell. James A. LaRoche II. Judith Ann Lima. Jane E. McCurdy. Janine McLaughlin. Laurie A. Miller. Stephen Lawrence Needham. Lynn Allison Pfeiffer. Mary Rushton. Mary Ellen Schumann. Amelia Phoebe Wren.
Sister Janet. Sister Janet Eisner, President, will now confer the master's degrees.
By virtue of the powers delegated to me by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and by the trustees of Emmanuel College, I hereby confer upon you the degrees Master of Arts in Human Resource Management, Master of Arts in Teaching and Education, in Health Service Administration, Master of Science in Management, Master of Education in School Administration.
Will the new Emmanuel College Master of Arts, Master of Education, and Master of Science recipients please rise for the turning of their tassels? Please change your tassel from the front right to the back right of your mortarboard. Now, everyone, please join me in recognizing these new master's degree recipients. You may be seated. Sister Janet Eisner, President, upon the recommendation of the faculty, it is my privilege to present to you the candidates who have fulfilled all the requirements for the degrees of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Fine Arts, and Bachelor of Science. Again, out of respect for the graduates and in order that each one's name can be heard, we request that you hold applause until all degrees have been conferred, and then we will applaud the baccalaureate recipients all at once. So will the candidates for the baccalaureate degrees please rise and come forward. Cindy Lee Bottiglio. Presidential Honors Distinction in the Field. Miao Yu Kwan, Maxence Matea, Wanda Elizabeth Colon, Economics and Management. Enola G. Mosley, Economics and Management. Sylvia C. Mata, English Communications. Cheryl Guilford, English Literature. Mary C. Alexander, Healthcare Administration. Adele Diorio, Healthcare Administration. Eleanor A. Fothergill, Healthcare Administration. Marguerite A. Kelly, Healthcare Administration. Lisa Ann Matachun, Healthcare Administration. Rita M. Miller, Healthcare Administration. Joanne Pickett O'Donnell, Healthcare Administration, Presidential Honors. Karen Ann Russo, Healthcare Administration, Presidential Honors. Siva Chamungingam, Healthcare Administration. Susan Sullivan, Healthcare Administration. Noreen Bernadette Clarity, Interdisciplinary Studies, Education, Psychology. Sharon A. Grady, Interdisciplinary Psychology, Education. Sister Michelle Roberta Ham, FSP, Interdisciplinary Speech Psychology. Rhonda Lomax Powell, Interdisciplinary English Communication Management. Patricia Marie Devlin Popolo, Interdisciplinary Sociology Management. Sister Bernadette Mary Reese, FSP, Interdisciplinary English, Foreign Language, Spanish. Regina Jana Saunders, Interdisciplinary Psychology, Sociology. Darlene Marguerite Dowdy, Interdisciplinary Presidential Honors, Distinction in the Field. Azumi Kamazawa, Management, Cum Laude. This group of graduates are receiving Bachelor's of Science degrees in nursing. Christine L. Beck. Cecilia A. Buckley, Presidential Honors, Distinction in the Field. Teresa Jean Chasen, Presidential Honors, Distinction in the Field. Heidi Ann Krim, Presidential Honors. Gloria Jean Hicks, Presidential Honors, Distinction in the Field. Margaret Greta Morris. Alicia L. Reed Brown. Maria Christine T. Sanglap, Presidential Honors, Distinction in the Field. Pearl Cunningham Yazbek, Distinction in the Field. Kathleen Patricia Dolan, Bachelor of Arts in Political Science. Jeanette Anita Webster, Bachelor of Arts, Political Science. Julia A. Silvez Ferreira, Bachelor of Arts, Psychology. Ellen Marie McCarthy, Psychology. Joanne Marie Doherty, Psychology, Presidential Honors, Distinction in the Field. Linda Joan McKenzie, Sociology, Presidential Honors. Donna M. Andrews, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, Presidential Honors. This group of students are all receiving Bachelors of Science in Business Administration. David Michael Babineau, Presidential Honors. Jean Zagami Barretta, Presidential Honors. Stephen M. Batchelder, Presidential Honors. Harriet M. Batson. Mariano Bautista Lignan, summa cum laude. Diane M. Bazaz, Presidential Honors. Diane C. Belfast. Pendra J. N. Bell. Kerry A. Bingham, cum laude. Donna M. Green, Presidential Honors. Stephanie Hilton Bright, Presidential Honors. James Brock, Presidential Honors. Mark Edward Byrne, cum laude. Linda Angela Cardinelli, summa cum laude. Laurie Campbell DeRosa, Presidential Honors. Angela R. Capello, cum laude. Christine Joanne Cavallo, Presidential Honors. Linda M. Chamberlain. John Joseph Cotton. Jody R. Coyne. Gary James Crawford, Presidential Honors. Donna D'Alessandro. Janice Della Croce, magna cum laude. Mary Loretta Di Domenico, cum laude. Jean M. Doucette. Charlene M. Johnson Drayton. Thomas James Eggleston, Presidential Honors. Joan Marie Farrell, Presidential Honors. Robert Stephen Flaherty. Jennifer Foley. Amy L. Foster, magna cum laude. Kathleen E. Fragala. Tammy Marie Franciosi. Paula Jean Frenny. Jonathan Durea Fuller. Karen I. Giffen, magna cum laude. D. Scott Ginsberg. Michael Gerard Graham. Tyrone F. Graham, Presidential Honors. Jody Ann Grillone, Presidential Honors. Linda R. Guillette. Jeffrey J. Hall. Sonia A. Harris, cum laude. Marie Harrison. Peter F. Hogstad. Tracy Lisa Herry. Helen Louise Holbrook, magna cum laude. Matthew Sean Hurley, Presidential Honors. Leanne Ignoto, cum laude. Stephen A. Iskra, cum laude. Elsa Marie Jimenez. Sherry Marie Jordan. Linda Beth Kennedy. Jason Roy Kitayama, Presidential Honors. Donna P. Lopez. Judith T. Leiden, Presidential Honors. Donald J. Ledger, Presidential Honors. Susan Maria Mahoney, Presidential Honors. Maria Mardikas. Mary Jo McCaffery, Presidential Honors. Gerald V. McDonald. Jean M. McDonald. Timothy Patrick McDonald, Presidential Honors. Carla A. McPherson, magna cum laude. Michelle Sarah Megan, summa cum laude. Paul Anthony Malarani. Maureen Summer Merriman. Mills Messina. Inez M. Miranda. David Montero. Norma Marie Morse. Sandra Morse Druhan, Presidential Honors. Kathleen M. Murphy, Presidential Honors. Lana D. Niles Malcolm. Paul V. Nemiskin Jr. Kathleen T. O'Brien. Jacqueline J. Overberg, magna cum laude. Deborah Marie Ponther. John J. Pastoris. Jennifer Page Petit, summa cum laude. Renee Hayes Phillips. Robin Francis Prouty, magna cum laude. Kristen Ann Richards. Joanne Fiore Richardson, magna cum laude. Kathleen Mara Roach. Jeffrey J. Romano. Jacqueline LaPelle Roy, magna cum laude. Joanne L. Ryan, presidential honors. Kumudini Sahadevan. John Michael Saunders, presidential honors. Marianne Saunders. Joyce M. Shortell, presidential honors. Kristen Allison Silva, presidential honors. Carol Bowman Spooner, presidential honors. Deborah C. Staff. Brian D. Surratt, summa cum laude. Lou Sutherland. Barbara Ann Swift. Nicole E. Tecci. Chandra Devi Tiluksing. Rosalina Rosa Texera. Jane Terrio. Regina S. Thompson, magna cum laude. Carol Lynette Timberlake. Marianne C. Tomazuk, magna cum laude. Janine Marie Trail, presidential honors. Darlene Patrice Vatere, cum laude. Martha Young. These students are receiving Bachelor of Fine Arts degrees. Mary Ellen Falzerano. Mary Ann Garlick, distinction in the field. Natalia Denise Pillar, cum laude, distinction in the field. Robin Rachel Ryder, cum laude, distinction in the field. Kelly Ann Sylvia, distinction in the field. Sonia Marie Amaral, a Bachelor of Science in Biology. Rosalind Inozil, Bachelor of Science in Biology. Joanna Lopes, Bachelor of Science in Biology. Beatrice Chapchumba Maritim, Bachelor of Science, Biology, magna cum laude, distinction in the field. Nelta Mirsadat, Bachelor of Science, Biology. Kellyanne Nelligan, Bachelor of Science, Biology, distinction in the field. Hillary Kathleen Oak, Bachelor of Science, Biology, cum laude, distinction in the field. Kristen Stringer, Bachelor of Science, Biology. Lee Win Tong, Bachelor of Science, Biology. Dawn Renee Kelly, Bachelor of Science, Chemistry, magna cum laude, distinction in the field. Aya Sasada, Bachelor of Science in Chemistry. Melinda Diaz Camara, Bachelor of Arts in Economics and Management, cum laude. The following group of students have Bachelor of Arts degrees in Management and Economics. Ellen Coppola. Tamana Afreen Hossein. Anusha Kanagareya. Elizabeth Jean Gasprick. Nazi Kana. Kan Fong Huen. Stella Yoselin Ratalangi. Urvi R. Shah. Sarah Ian Stanton, cum laude. Nicole L. Archibald, Bachelor of Arts in Educational Studies, cum laude. Nicole Marie Barbieri, Bachelor of Arts in Educational Studies, cum laude. Mary Angela Elizabeth Cronin, Educational Studies. Risa Marina Barron, Bachelor of Arts in English. Janelle Ann DeLuise, Bachelor of Arts in English, magna cum laude. Michelle Jamie Hunter, English. Julianne McGill, English. Katona Yoneda, English. Pamela Lynette Coleman, English Communication. The following students have a Bachelor of Arts in English Communication. Melissa Sue Eckhart. Nicole Helen Gertie, magna cum laude. Hia Lee Chen, Bachelor of Arts in History. Anne Elizabeth Steers, Bachelor of Arts in History, magna cum laude, distinction in the field. Megan Alice Haupt, interdisciplinary studies, theater arts, English, cum laude. Tanisha Cecilia Moore, interdisciplinary sociology, political science. Chimoka Nishimaki, interdisciplinary Spanish sociology. Hayumi Takauchi, interdisciplinary management, French. Hong Sin Yang, interdisciplinary management, economics. Jennifer Cole Murray, interdisciplinary sociology, French. Carrie Beth Dixon, political science, magna cum laude, distinction in the field. Lisa Marie Gouveia, political science, magna cum laude, distinction in the field. Yasmin A. Mahdi, political science, magna cum laude, distinction in the field. Jennifer Zetto, political science, distinction in the field. Laurie Ann Arano, psychology. The following students all have Bachelor of Arts degrees in psychology. Alicia Marie Cannon. Brittany Ann Davis. Ryan Michelle Fox. Michelle A. Golinsky. Kira Renee Greaves. Christina Marie Heusler, magna cum laude. Naoko Honda. Holly Elizabeth Malise. Nahoko Namikawa. Debika Paul, summa cum laude, distinction in the field. Catherine Antonia Rose. Jennifer Lee Tanner, summa cum laude. Shauna Lynn Crowley, cum laude, distinction in the field of art therapy. Jeanette Colon, distinction in the field of Spanish. Maria Isabel Fernandez. Nicole Evelyn Adams, sociology, distinction in the field. Jennifer Marie Coveney, sociology. Michaela Ann Dooley, sociology. Eva Korsioric, sociology. Dawn Christine Pont, sociology, cum laude. Sister Janet Eisner, President, will now confer the baccalaureate degrees.
By virtue of the powers delegated to me by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, the trustees of Emmanuel College, I hereby confer upon the class of 2000 the degrees of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Fine Arts, and Bachelor of Science.
Will the new Emmanuel College Baccalaureate degree recipients please rise for recognition? Please join me in applauding our graduates. Jennifer Murray and Cindy Bottiglio will now lead the class in the traditional turning of the tassel, symbolizing their reception into the academic rank of baccalaureate. Jennifer and Cindy, please come forward. Turn it to the other side. Let's recognize our graduates one more time. On behalf of the college, I extend congratulations to the members of the class of 2000 and I thank their families and friends for sharing this occasion with us. Would the audience kindly remain in place until the graduates have recessed? We hope that you will join us in celebrating our graduates and honored guests at a reception on the lawn. The 78th commencement exercises are now closed.